At the end of the last video, we mentioned that we were going to go the other direction. So instead of writing a compact expression in terms of multiple logarithms, we're going to take something that has multiple logarithms and try and write it as one or maybe two logarithmic expressions if it's possible. And so we're going to condense. We're going to fewer things versus more things. And so to do that, we're actually going to follow the same procedure. We're actually going to try and use the power law first. Then quotient difference and product sum. We're just going to try and use the property in the other direction. So for instance, in terms of a power, okay, and we have an example of that in the first one here. I'm just going to write this first as natural log of y minus 1/3 of natural log of x squared. So remembering that log base e of y is the same as natural log of y. Okay, but my point is power law, we're going to go in reverse. So instead of having the 2 brought out to the 1/3, we're going to bring the 1/3 inside as an exponent on that. Okay, so my next step would be to say that this is natural log of y minus natural log of, and then inside here I'd have x squared to the 1/3 power. Okay, and if I simplify that, that's just natural log of y minus natural log of x to the 2/3 power. Exponent to exponent, you multiply. Okay, so that's one way we can do the power law in reverse. So bring a coefficient up into the exponent. Quotient of difference is similar. We're going to look for a difference and then bring that inside as a quotient. This is where students may make a mistake generally, and I'll show you that mistake first. Okay, so this is incorrect. They would say, okay, we have subtraction, and they want to write that as natural log of y minus, or divided by natural log of x to the 2/3. Okay, this is more of the change of base formula, so this is incorrect. What you should do is you recognize that there's division, but that division goes inside. So you'd write it as natural log of y divided by x to the 2/3. So the first thing that you have before the subtraction, that goes in the numerator. The thing that follows the subtraction goes in the denominator. Okay, but it's a quotient inside of a logarithm. Okay, and so there we go. All right. So that one I can't go any further. There's nothing more, no more logarithms to condense. Okay. And so now I'm going to proceed with that same strategy of trying to use a power law and then quotient difference and practice sum with this next example. Okay, so do I have the power law? Do I have any coefficients? I in fact have a few of them. I have 2 of them, so I'm going to bring those in as exponents. So this is going to be equal to log base 3 of 2 plus log base 3 of x cubed plus, minus log base 3 of t to the 4th, and then all minus log base 2 of y. Okay, next. So do I have any more powers? No. Do I have any more quotients and differences lying around? I actually have a few differences, so I'm going to use this one next. I have one here, and then I have another one that follows. Okay, so if I have differences, I want to combine them. I kind of want to do it one at a time. All right, so I'm going to just first rewrite this first one, log base 3 of 2 plus, and then combine these two, and this would be log base 3 of x to the 3rd over t to the 4th. Again, difference outside of logs becomes a quotient inside of logs. And then I have the minus log base 2 of y. Okay, then I do see I have another difference appearing. I have between these two, right? But the problem is I have different base logarithms. Okay, my properties only apply if I have the same base. Up here in this first step where I wrote that difference as a division inside, that's okay because I have the same base logarithms. Here I have different bases, so I can't go further with combining these last 2 logarithms. Okay, so at this point I have no more quotients and differences that I can write as quotients. So then I'm left with the product of sum. So do I have 2 logarithms that are being added? And then if I do, that can be represented as a product inside of a log. And the answer is yes, I do have that. I have that. between these two, and then I'm just going to note that one in a different color. So I do have, instead of those two combining, I can combine these two, and that would combine into log base 3, and then inside the logarithm, I would have 2 times the quantity x plus 3, or x cubed over t to the fourth, and then I'd have minus log base 2 of y, okay? And that, fortunately or unfortunately, that is as simplified as I can go. Since I have logarithms of different bases, right? I have log base 2 here, and then I have log base 3 here. Since I have different base logarithms, I can't combine them. Okay, so I am stuck. But I have done the condensing as much as possible, right? That's the phrase here. And so I have achieved my mission. Okay. So again, we have all the log properties that we could ever want now, and we are just putting them to use by trying to expand expressions or condense them, paying attention to instructions as always, and then following this procedure of trying to use the power law first, followed by the difference of quotient law, and then finally the product of sum law. So be careful with the applications, look for simplifications along the way, and have fun.